here?
Valentine.
And it's happening? Did I? I did. Okay. Wanted to make sure I hadn't changed the category because I think I was looking at Ascension last night.
You did check if Ascension were a category. I don't think it was.
It was not.
It's we did look at Ascension.
It was bad. Don't
We
do it.
moved Ascension.
It's bad. Don't do it. It's very not good.
Maybe if you bought the season pass, we'd be having more fun.
No.
Maybe you bought the Silent Hill Battle Pass.
No, I'm good.
You think of all the sweaters you could give to your avatar, who I don't know why is there and doesn't show up in anything.
I think it shows up in chat.
Oh, it's all the like slurs that are flying past have like funny little men associated with them. I assume, man.
Why is my inventory like this? Oh, because I have a lot of weird shit. That's why. We have too many crossbow bolts, I think.
Crossbow's okay. I mean, that's a lot of crossbow bolts.
It'll be fine for when we like upgrade it and do stuff with that.
Yeah. If you can shoot two, I think that's huge.
Yeah.
And the one where you charge it to shoot harder.
Yeah.
Seems pretty cool as well.
That'll be great. Hey, don't touch the calendar. This thing that you use to keep track of everything, don't touch it. Don't touch.
Then it'll stay the same day forever.
Yep. That's how that works.
Yeah.
Right. We want to go here. But actually, I want to check out this whole dang area. Because we didn't. We checked out this whole dang area.
Yeah, no, we had to run back because it was Silent Hill time and we were so excited for Silent Hill. We just wanted to see Ascension.
The page said I'd run into a cultist here.
Did it? Did the page say that?
Saga.
Oh, I guess it did.
We both had very, very low expectations for Silent Hill Ascension. It failed to meet those.
Yeah, it was worse in worse ways than we thought it could be.
It's catastrophically bad.
And it's just how did they do that? Oh boy, how'd they accomplish this?
I need to head back.
Saga. I get it, you don't want to go there. Where should we go here then? Anything? No. Float making needs. Deerfest is just around the corner. Free consultations. Those brothers are doing everything, huh?
Yeah. I trust those brothers.
I need something to cut this.
Still don't have bolt cutters. So that's unfortunate. What is this?
Screwdriver.
That's not bolt cutters. The Atari butchered his victim with his Puko knife. Mask. Oh, it's the murder well.
Oh, nice.
See that tape recorder. This is what they've made their float after? This is what they're doing?
Are they gonna kill each other?
I mean, probably. If they haven't already.
Is that what this is about? They can't wait till... You don't think they're gonna be able to wait till they get on the floor?
Nah.
Just start stabbing each other?
Nah. Ilmo's just gonna go buck wild.
You can pick up those crochet dog sweaters at the Sunday market. And while you're there, go visit Wendy Davis and grab some of our sponsor's famous beef jerky. Up next, we've got Deerfest. Oh, hold on now. We have a call coming in. Which button is that? Hello?
Rip it or rip it?
Ripple.
Wrong line. Hold on. Hello. You're on with
Hello.
Batman.
Yeah, Gil Davis
Davis here. What a pleasant surprise. We have Gil Davis on the line from our lovely sponsor, Davis Family Beef Jerky. Gil,
Uh-oh.
any thoughts on those crochet dog sweaters?
You need to stop.
What's that?
Just stop. Whatever this is you're doing, stop.
I'm not sure I understand, Gil.
There's no such thing as Davis Family Beef Jerky. I don't sell beef jerky. I've never made beef jerky. I don't
think
particularly
this is
like
the
beef jerky.
world's
I'm getting crazy phone calls for jerky
colliding.
orders, day and
Yeah.
night. You got confused old ladies all over this goddamn town on the hunt for imaginary beef jerky, asking for insane flavors like hickory teriyaki, which clearly
I don't know
isn't
why
a
this
thing.
man is complaining. I think he should probably just get into the jerky business if he's already got a clientele.
It's time to invent hickory
Somebody
teriyaki.
needs to
Consider.
tell your lovely wife Wendy, because she's out there at the market every Sunday selling it.
Wendy is dead, Pat.
No, that's not right. I
We
just
have
saw
seen an ad
Wendy
for the
at the market last weekend.
For the jerky.
hickory
Wendy was
teriyaki
13
jerky.
years ago,
Yeah.
Pat. They found her body. She's dead. We're trying to make peace with that, and you're making it so much harder with all this goddamn beef jerky bullshit.
No, that's just not true.
This man
She's
is complaining about an opportunity
every
knocking on his
weekend.
door.
I see her there. This joke has gone far
Ungrateful.
enough. Now go get Wendy on the line so we can have a laugh about this.
She's fucking dead, Pat. Stop.
Gil? I think we're out of time.
Oh, Pat.
Dog sweaters, Sunday market. And yeah, Pat Main signing off.
Bye, Pat.
Sorry, Pat.
Sorry, everyone's from a different world than you.
Yeah.
It's fine, I'm sure.
Alan, can you write something nice
More
happening
of those
to
kids'
Pat into
lunch
this
boxes.
story, because,
You're hurting our friend.
yeah.
Must be so exciting to be the story's hero. Honestly, I'm a bit jealous. I wish I could be the protagonist of something. Oh, unicorns. How many pieces? 6. We'll take
Not
it.
bad.
How many pieces do we have, actually? Only 9?
It's not great.
I mean, we had been spending all of them.
Yeah.
Is the thing. Don't like that those all keep getting marked new every time I sign back in. That's a little annoying. No, okay. This should go back to the amusement park though. Ayo! Directly to the murder well!
We love the murder well.
Love murder well here. What is this X mark? We don't have a legend, which makes it a little difficult.
I assume it just means a thing that isn't, like, oh, just a catch-all thing.
Door, item, bolt cutters.
Well, yeah, that's for a specific bolt cutter requirement.
I don't think it should be door underscore item underscore bolt underscore cutters.
That's definitely what I'd call it.
Oh, the Ferris wheel screaming again. You know, typical Ferris wheel stuff.
Did it say door item bolt cutters? Like, last time we loaded it?
I don't remember.
Is this new? Is this new? It's fine. The story's, Alan's been confused, you see.
This is fine. What am I trying to do? I guess we'll go into Lighthouse Park, huh? Trailer park time.
So we gotta go.
Gotta go trailer park.
We've been exploring.
Yeah. I mean, we've kind of looked at everything, although... Wait. I found outside the lighthouse, which was in Watery. We have some new pictures. Never mind, can't use that one.
for later.
That's also for later.
It's later now.
Stash found.
Oh, we needed to go back to the lighthouse, right?
Yeah, because you didn't find the thing.
We didn't find whatever we'd changed.
Watery. Watery. Okay, we can do that. We can go back to the lighthouse. It's lighthouse time. I just need to turn around. That's lighthouse.
That was the last thing we said, I think, before we signed off. Was,
Yeah.
Hey, remember, we're going back to the lighthouse.
And we nearly forgot.
Partially forgot. Temporarily forgot.
We were saving it for later.
Yeah.
Is what happened. Don't worry about it. Alright. Truck. Oh yeah, there was a wolf up here, wasn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you shot him once, and then he bit you, and then ran away.
Yeah, then we decided to go our separate ways.
Yeah.
We said, we're done now. Leave each other alone. We've both got better things to do.
I decide if I think shining the torch with the wolf helps anyone at all.
I don't think so.
Sometimes we just get to in one, and it doesn't seem to be related to anything.
I mean, the last number of wolves we've come across, I've just not used the flashlight on. Why are you making noises?
It's kind of new. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Need the key.
Screwdriver's like a key. It's fine.
Where? Hi, boat.
It does tend to be harder to actually find the thing that you meant to unlock than do the puzzle.
Yeah.
Please stop dropping single crossbow bolts.
I don't need these. These are not helpful to me. Do you have anything new? You're a safe house.
Yeah, we checked out last time. It looked... I thought it looked like you were just like, no, it's a safe house.
I'm just gonna check down these steps, because, I mean, this feels a little far at this point, so...
What's everywhere?
Oh.
I was hoping one of those guys had dropped the key, although I don't think that's ever happened before.
Never. Not even once? One could hope, though.
One could hope.
We do have Gunkus on the stairs.
Is that footprints?
Yeah. I don't know where they're going. Gunk, where do you lead?
Lead the way, Gunk.
Gunk, you're a little hard to see.
Oh, maybe we were following it the wrong way. Because it starts like kinda here.
Yeah, but the footprints go... We're going this way, not that way.
We started here. If we did the puzzle, we'd have started here.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's possible.
Just don't know why it would lead so far away.
At least we're like following a thing. Wolf would never harm you. They're more scared of you than you are of them.
I don't think that's true.
I think that's true.
He's over there. Stay over there, Wolf. I don't want to have a problem with you, Wolf. Some footprints are leading that way. Why do this? Maybe because I find it down here and it leads us up there? I don't know.
Yeah, leading the other way. I don't get it.
Did it clear the path down here?
They were already clearing.
No, this one.
Oh, did it clear the smudge?
Yeah.
The brown smudge. That's so weird.
Incredibly far away, and I don't appreciate that.
That's so far away, and it really doesn't tell you that, like, this has happened. All you have to go off is the weird footprints going the wrong way.
And they're so hard to see.
I can use this charm on my bracelet.
What did we get? What charm did we get? Increases max amount of health restored in safe havens.
I could do it over that one.
Put you down in that corner. Okay, is that it? Is that all we got? Is that all that's here?
At least we... That's normally the reward for doing one of those.
Yeah.
This is a charm that we can use.
Yeah.
Not necessarily always.
Oh, we get those coffee ones. So if I die, I come back.
Yeah.
And I didn't equip them because A, we've not died yet, except once. That was very early on, and I was still trying to figure out how to do literally anything.
I think they were just scripted as well. If you left the light, it just got you.
I don't know.
Gotta wait till the game says. You gotta wait till Simon says you can go.
But game said I could go was the thing,
Hmm.
which is why I was going.
You sure Simon said?
I don't care what Simon says.
Because if Simon doesn't say that still means you're not allowed.
Well, Simon couldn't get fucked. Wolf. Come here.
Yeah, I dealt with it.
Should have probably used the handgun to get his attention.
Yeah, you
But-
definitely did enough damage that you could guarantee finishing with the second, or at least almost guarantee finishing with the second one.
Yeah. I just want to go in here. We'll probably go in after we check out the trailer park. Alright. Back on course.
Lighthouses sounds pretty fun.
Generally. I mean, especially in a story about light and dark.
Yeah.
Might need the lighthouse later on. This is fine. We're gonna get there. It's gonna be good. Everything's gonna be fantastic. Alan's gonna stop hurting Pat. And
That's the nicest man, please.
and it's gonna be fine, actually. Let's just do a quick save. I know we already did, but what if we did another?
Yeah, this one's closer. He didn't use anything up.
Trailer park key. Saga, your flashlight was hovering. She said, "Hold that."
Those boys.
Must not drink
I love these
water or take a bath ever again.
Our stinky boys.
Moonshine. Only drink the moonshine, brother.
I'm worried about our uncles.
Yeah.
Don't look like cultists.
What do you mean? Yeah, they do.
Nah, they look like heavy metal nerds.
The best cultists.
I don't feel like myself. Don't know how to fight it.
Oh no.
We're too old now.
Excuse me. I'm looking for the Anderson trailer.
time. Like we were just saying, it's not true. The lies to hurt you and make you weak. Don't believe a word.
Can do, uncles.
They believe because deep down, they want to be told what to think. We're different. Rebels! You must stop it before it turns real. Don't be part of the story. Make the story. Stop the hell of it!
These old drunks don't seem affected by the horror story like the other locals are. Do they know what's happening here?
Yeah, they do.
How do you know about the story?
Same as you, of course, sweetie pie. We are family. The Andersons.
Perfect.
Vikings.
Perfect.
Gods. It's so good to finally see you, Saga. I am your great uncle Odin, and this is your long-lost Murderfive, Thor. Sarasota.
Thor seems a little confused.
He is your grandfather, and I am the All-Father.
I love these dorks.
They're
Just
amazing.
as crazy as everyone else.
Saga, go away! They're
Just
perfect!
as caught in it. I need to
Okay,
stay
before we
focused.
talk to them,
I need to check
I
out the
I
trailer.
thought I saw a thing. Yeah, we've got a lunchbox over here. There it is. You can overcome adversity and achieve your goals. 7 fragments. Perfect.
good amount.
And another lunchbox.
Up to 16, I think.
That would make sense. Probably throw something into the crossbow bolt. Or into the crossbow. Not the bolt. Just the bow.
We do have a bolt. 18 for 2 shots.
That's fine.
Saga strained to
Big
pull the
shots.
string of the crossbow back as far as she could.
It's
To her surprise, the latch adjusted to accommodate her. The next bolt would stop a monster.
Okay, Alan.
These little bits are like, it gives you when you buy one of the upgrades are like also really bad.
They're not good. We found all of the ones in Watery.
Oh, lovely. I think all the ones in the forest. Though.
2 more?
Looks like.
Oh, jeez.
Many in town.
There's not many places that we can look in town at the moment, though.
Yeah, someone's got to open.
Remember, Mayor Setter will do all these things.
There might be 1 or 2 more like hidden in town somewhere, but there's no way there's 7.
Right? Okay.
Your
Let's talk to the boys.
Same as you, kiddo. Thor Anderson, Odin Anderson, the old gods of Asgard. That's our band. You are Saga Anderson, goddammit. A Viking goddess.
I like the sound of that.
Yes.
Thor, Odin, Saga. All Norse inspired. Plus the same last name. A coincidence?
Oh my god,
Oh my
Saga!
God.
This is your grandpa. This is your great uncle.
She's
Let's-
really just running around like, man,
So, do you
everyone
know where
but
the
me in the
Anderson
world is
trailer is?
crazy, huh?
Right?
behind us.
Everyone's so
We've been
wrong
looking
except me.
after it Since you
My
left.
God.
Uh-huh. Thanks for your help.
Anytime,
was-
kiddo.
Not on silent. And now it is.
Looks like you
drinking?
two have had a bit too much fun.
She sees
Never
right
drink
through
anything
us,
but the
bro.
moonshine.
She has
It's in the
power.
water.
This calls
Isn't
for
the
a
moonshine
fucking
full of
celebration. Our little
Lake
Saga
water?
all
I mean,
grown up
probably.
and finally home.
Maybe
Sure, we've
maybe
had
the
a
alcohol
few
content
sips,
kills whatever the
just
dark
a
presence
taste.
is.
The
No,
famous
what's in the
Anderson
basket?
moonshine. Oh, the nectar of the gods. You want some?
No thanks.
I'm on duty.
The like baddie in the first game did try and like get the old gods of Asgard before Tom's in, I think, but they just partied too hard and she couldn't handle it.
Have you seen any strange people in deer masks?
We love
I
them.
haven't drunk enough for that yet.
You can
Lol.
see all sorts of wonderful
But they did find
things
out
when
that
you make
the
your way
lake water's
down
magic.
Bottle.
And they put it in the
More
moonshine.
so it's just one eye.
Okay, never mind.
Is there anything else? No? Okay. We probably have new stuff for the case board. This would be My Life in Watery? Nope. We'll put that in which parts are false. So story is giving me wacky relatives now. Listen, they're the best relatives. I've never talked about family. Anytime I asked Mom about her home or family, she shut down. I have no idea who my grandparents are. It's them. It's these two. They're right here.
Hey, we know who your grandparents are.
Oh, I was hoping that we could profile them. Tragic. Alright. I mean, that one says Anderson. However.
Hello, Yako. Who is this incredibly attractive martial arts master? It's me, your brother, Ilmo. I now recognize you, but Ilmo,
Who's
why are
talking
you
in here?
dressed like that? Deerfest is almost here, which means we're chopping the prices of all of our
Oh, no, it's the boys
custom-designed
outside. Okay.
Deerfest parade floats. Floats created
This is
by
a lot?
the award-winning
This is a lot of
team
noise all at
Colorado
once?
Knights Motorcycle Club. Winners of the last
Could do
year's
without
trophy
one
for
layer.
Best Deerfest float featuring an animal that is not deer. That very team. And you're gonna get a kick out of our latest float design. We've done it all. Deerfest floats, restaurant floats, floats shaped like things we can't show on television.
Oh, wow.
Our floats are the best way to impress your friends, propose to your partner, or throw shade at an office colleague. And we don't do just Deerfest. Our
I
floats
love
are the
these
perfect
two.
gift for weddings, birthdays, bar mitzvahs, or your quinceañera. Our floats
Quinceañera.
will let you any special
I got you,
occasion.
Yako.
Why take
You're
our
so
word for it?
good.
Let's hear it from one of our many happy customers.
Tapio.
Deerfest last year. Floats
Talk to
were
Pat.
pretty good. One of them was a swan.
And
That was his
tough. People
favorite.
liked it. And there you have it. Award-winning floats now at reduced prices that will knock you off your feet. Order yours today.
We'll build anything.
Please pay us. We'll build anything.
Said something about not accepting customers if the float was impractical or boring.
That's a good deer.
Also, we have a new deer. New deer for the collection.
New deer.
That's 6 remaining, I think.
6 remain.
We'll have to go pet Mind Palace deer in a minute, but first, it's important that we do a loot. Those boys are honking out there.
Yeah.
Nothing in there. This house is too small. It's too narrow.
It's a little guy.
Just break through the door. Not worry about the damage that we'll cause.
Never do. What's that now?
Not our house, so you know.
That green light is supposed to be red.
Oh no.
Which light?
This one here. Donna's grandson.
There's a promise of
wrote
bringing
down
you know that we've
instructions
settled
for me,
in, we're
but
doing
I
great and
can't
busy
for
as
the
ever,
life
the
of
big
me
city.
remember
Jim's
why
working hard and
Connie
landed a
Fisher
promotion.
here?
We're gonna
Yeah,
celebrate by
red
going
means
to a
off,
hot
red
new
means
restaurant that
on.
Connie recommended.
No, that's
Rose
right.
doing well in school, she'll have her pick of
I
any
need a
college
red
with the
light
grades
here.
she's been getting.
Have
So
you tried
proud
to
of my little
mess with
girl!
these buttons?
We're busy
Don't
making our
fasten
apartment into a
stuff.
home,
That's-
training staff, and
Which
shopping
button
for
did you
furniture. Who
press?
knew finding a
This
decent
one right here. No,
shade
that was it.
lounge
I'm gonna call Donna's grandson.
would be so hard? All going well. Don't you worry about us.
Tapio.
Hope all is well with you
Sorry,
too.
I misdialed.
No, you didn't. I
Papio, get off the line.
Must be all this rain botching up your connection. If it keeps up, that bunker out back could flood again. A girl drowned in that bunker last time it flooded.
That Logan.
A girl drowned in Cauldron Lake.
Wrong. That was the Anderson girl.
Oh.
Different girl.
Can we please
Oh.
focus on making the
Why are so
ground
many
red?
people drowning?
Got this button here with the sticky note that says on off. Yes, that's the one. Okay, let's press that and see if it.
I think they pressed the wrong button.
Dang mare up in there. Everything's going wrong.
It's ridiculous. Poor Pat.
Oh, Pat.
Anything back here aside from darkness? Just dark?
Just darkness.
So dang dark? Guess I'm not looking for lunch boxes anymore here. But we are looking for stashes. Those Colt caches.
Stashes and caches.
Stashes and caches and... Oh god! It's
I
flooded.
need something to cut this.
Need to borrow the Anderson's longboat.
Perfect. Think it's still intact?
Did they actually have a longboat here? Did it have one in the van in the first game?
Yeah.
I just saw you walking past the boat.
That
Reeks
doesn't
of
look like a long
booze.
boat.
It's a tiny boat. Idiot boat.
Addressed to me
Small boat.
from years ago.
Can I
Wake
look
was
at any
right.
of them?
The horror story is changing reality. Not just people's
Oh
memories.
god.
Hmm.
Why does it look like that?
I don't even know what's been done to this pizza.
Washington Power Saga Anderson. Make check payable due. Amount due on or before February 22nd, 2018. I don't... Oh wait, no, I guess that would be from what was inside the thing. I was like, I don't think they should be posting how much your
This
bill
card
is
has
on the
Mom's
outside of the
handwriting.
envelope. Wilbur told me that it's your birthday, so be sure to give yourself some special treatment. I love you, Logan. Grandma F. What is this noise? That's so much alcohol.
Yeah, I'm worried about Urkels.
A little bit.
Thought they were only drinking moonshine.
Drinking moonshine and... Sorry, what is this? Murdered the manor house. Hi, Britt. Liver? We don't know her. Clearly, our poor uncles
A
are
pen
not
book
doing
from
great.
Ilmo.
How are you?
Are
How's
we
it going?
close in the story? That might explain some of his behavior.
The plot chickens.
Excellent puns for the comedy hen in your life.
Did I leave the bureau in this fictional reality?
Oh. It's getting going. Whoa. It was nice. It was very mellow. We made cookies and watched some Saw movies because they were bad. But it was nice. How was yours?
I just saw 5 and 6. They're both bad.
They're both bad. Hey, all the Saw movies past one, kinda trash, maybe. Right? They're so bad. Great if you just want a bad movie on.
Yeah, the good bad movie.
Yeah. I mean, boo to the homework, but we're here for the candy. Nice. Also, what is this? Agent Anderson, our deepest condolences for your loss. Bureau knows it's an incredibly hard time for you. I personally can assure you we are committed to your well-being and will allow the time needed for your recovery from this tragedy. The FBI is here for you. No, they're not. We'll be ready to welcome you back to work as soon as you're ready. We could really use that insightful mind of yours, so we hope to see you back in our ranks soon. Warm regards, Supervisory Special Agent Stacy Marrow. Weird. Critical look at a broken system. It's all bad, none of it works. Hey, look, it's our daughter. That's your critical look. You can't fix it, tear it all down.
Yes, style.
Do something else. Okay. Logan's
Everything
room.
here reminds me of Logan.
Well, that's because it's Logan's
This could be
room.
her room.
That's because it's her room.
Sick of this lady not getting it.
We got our uncles. We got video games, and we got deer. I guess moose. Maybe that's Mocha Moose.
Pomos.
Keep on shining, little rock star. Proud great granddad and great granduncle. We love them. Macy's
Best.
coming soon. What's this? Oh,
My newfound relatives. Cozy with the cult of the tree.
I think everyone here is.
In the hands of the cult, just like
Here's the
Page
thing. I think
Carnival
everyone in
and
town
Knights.
is involved.
That's the motorcycle club the Costello brothers are in. I'll take Odin and Tor up on their offer and visit their nursing home. Right after I
Also,
find
I'm sorry
this
that the
biker
backgrounds are
workshop.
looking weird. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, it's a certain distance just kind of does that.
Local girl drowns.
No. It's not true. It's just a fucking story. It's not true. Logan's back home. She's fine. Fuck. She's at school. David.
Well, I wanted to look around the
I'm
room
in
a
the
little
story
bit
and
more,
it's
but
coming true.
it's fine.
Wake said Scratch would try and hurt me with the horror story. But he said
Saga, I
they're still
think he
trying to
hurt you by
stop us.
making you think you were still alive.
That he can stop us
Yeah.
with a clicker.
You go the wrong way around.
Yeah.
Leave a message.
David? Is Logan okay? Call me back as soon...
Oh.
Mulligan? What the fuck? Hey! Stay where you are!
Lady's got the bat on him.
He does have the bat on him. Before we do that, though...
Mulligan is a cultist? What the fuck is going on here?
Finish looking in here.
I don't know why she just assumes that the cops wouldn't be in on it.
Right?
Like, why do you think that?
The Nordic Tales book Mom gave to Logan when she was little.
Very silly.
Like, it's way easier for the cult to
Fawn.
operate. You'd assume if the
Logan
if the
used to
cops
love
are
her
in
music.
Right?
Logan's junior agent certificate. So cute.
Mom! FBI! Dual-wielding pistols. Logan, please. Alright,
Think she's ever fired a gun in the air and gone,
one would hope. There's in there. There's goodies here.
oh, lovely, we have a boss fight coming up, I think. He's waiting patiently just over there.
I appreciate that. I like it that he's just kind of hanging out. I do want to move this here, because that's the healing line. Oh, nope, he's gone.
Oh, rush him.
Sir? Can you get this out?
The cult of the tree.
Thornton 2? God damn it.
I mean, they're
And
kind
now
of
they're all
wandering off
taken?
right now, so we'll quick save. Excuse you.
Good girl.
Saga, you have to move.
She got jump scared too.
Well, I need her to stop. Nope, okay, that was a waste. Hey, I'm like... Oh,
The
so
headline
that's how
Logan
we're
wasn't real. Don't
making
think
sure I
about
don't get too close.
it. The cult has the clicker. Get it?
I I
fix this.
see. Hi, boys. Where are they?
This is the workshop from the photo with the cultists. This is where they had the clicker, if it's still here. I need to find it.
Gonna keep this propane tank out, because I can probably blow them both up?
Be a good way to remember.
Yeah. Give me all of this. All of this. 3 whole batteries! I mean, at this point, it's basically just 2, but that's the highest that number has ever been for Saga. Come.
Don't want shop birds too.
It says 3, so, you know, we'll take it. It counts.
Yeah. That draw just disappeared when you opened.
Yeah, it's fine. Dear.
Oh,
Poor thing.
Very
it's
dark.
almost time for this, even when the music is building.
Gotta pet the deer.
Gotta pet the deer.
Very important that you pet the deer. Said something about finding a fuse in here. Saga, please don't be stuck on the wall.
We're missing a fuse for something. I can't remember what.
It was for the amusement park.
Yeah, something.
One of the rides.
Worried we'd have to go all the way back to the start of the game and take it out of the witch's house.
Yeah. What's this? Thanks everyone for your valuable input. I'm assuming that means Saturday Sauna Night is on. Sauna is good for the body and good for the soul. You may not like it, but it likes you. And all condiments are welcome, of course.
Please don't take condiments into the sauna.
Read down here first. Seen some of you place your stashes in the open. Please don't do that, you rascals! This is your final warning to stop taking the oop out of the assembly hall.
That's clicker.
It's the clicker. You want to get drunk in the workshop? Fine, but the oop is for ritual use
Why
only.
do they know? Control terminology.
I mean, Ilmo was chatting with that.
Yeah, I guess that's
With that yeah, that guy.
the bureau control guy.
Yeah. Uncle Ilmo, hope you're well. Charlene and I still haven't received our paychecks from last month's Coffee World promo work. Are you sure you've sent them? Could you double check? Maybe they slipped through the cracks. Also, Charlene wanted me to tell you that her suit still smells weird. Charlie. Deerfest wolves are eating up our space. Try to keep things neat and tidy around the workshop, okay? Can't find my tools. Can't even find my left hand, even though it's attached to me. But I will find my boot up someone's ass if we all keep making a mess. Elmo. Hello, fellas. I suggest we start a regular sauna night. Now that the old place is working again, what's the best time for it? How about a classic Saturday night session? I'll bring the sausage and mustard, but BYOB.
I hate that they're talking about bringing so much food. I know that they mean they're gonna have food and then go in the sauna, but like...
Now they're gonna cook it in the sauna.
Is that what it is?
Yep, definitely. 100%.
It's just not good. It's just nasty.
Not everyone enjoys frying themselves to death, Ilmo. Who would pick mustard over ketchup?
Fred.
Ilmo, ignore Fred. He doesn't have what it takes. And he's wrong about ketchup too. It's obviously chili mayo or nothing.
Isn't that what it takes to go in the sauna?
Hey Ilmo, I can't find the new door lock combination. Look inside the smiley coffee cup. Doesn't help me. Thanks everyone for your valuable input. Okay, yeah. Great.
Locked. They must be in there. There has to be a way to get this lock open.
Well, I mean, we kind of saw one of the symbols. Well, they've wandered off.
Definitely one. Oh, there's another one on the box.
There's a third around here.
Would be very handy for.
I mean, I could do what I did before.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I can remember that.
So, one up, one down on the diamond. No, oh yeah, sorry, one more, the diamond. One more, the next one, that one. No, yeah, that one, that one, that one.
Might swap those around though.
Possible. Please lock. I need you to open.
Then let's try this.
It's just crazy enough to work.
No.
Okay. Need to find more bits.
Is there anything over here? No.
Oh, look in the coffee cup.
Okay, so hourglass next to each other and diamond.
Hourglass, up, down, diamond.
Is the other? No. Okay.
Trying backwards.
Just had to
This is the
wiggle all
cult's
around.
hideout.
Maybe height.
Their headquarters, even?
Very bright in here. So I think we're probably fine. Nothing in there. Shoebox.
A fuse.
Fuse.
I can use this to get the Espresso Express working.
That's
Finally.
true.
There's a basement.
It's very dark down there.
Yeah.
Light switch you found washed up at the lake is not junk, it's fucking important! Trust me on this. From now on, whenever we catch a target, we're gonna cut out its heart, stick this thing inside, and flick it. I know it sounds weird, but just trust me, it'll be like a ritual. This is gonna work.
The cult is leaving supplies around for themselves.
Does this marks all of the locations
This will
for
be
me.
handy. That's it.
Beautiful.
Nice.
The Nightingale ritual wasn't completed.
Everyone please read. I'm not trying to play the blame game here, but we cannot let random tourists walk right into one of our rituals. We were stopped before we got to use the clicker. Hell, the lights weren't even set up yet. It's unacceptable. So let's look at the learnings. We need to be faster with our setups. We need to be 100% positive someone is on lookout duty. Communication, communication, communication. Slip-ups like this are why we have FBI agents snooping around, which is not great. I'm only being harsh about this because I know we can do better.
The cult isn't well organized.
Well,
People aren't following orders.
They're trying their best. Come on.
To whoever has been sabotaging Lake House equipment, stop it! If you're looking for ways to help the cult, this is not it. Unless bringing the feds down on us is what you consider helpful, in which case you can fuck right off. Stay away from the FBC, and if you see them poking around again, report to the Grand Master.
The FBC have done it so bad.
Yeah.
Everyone knows
Everyone
them.
knows
and
about
just-
them. Mark Knock like, yes, that's all the stashes by our last count. Locked and loaded. Ready to go.
This is the cult's process.
Yeah, some multiple people at the
Their
FBC are gonna
ritual.
get fucking not just fired, but like shot into an alternate dimension. They're gonna become test subjects for some of the for some of the oops that they have now.
Go stunned staring at the fridge, Stuart.
Yeah.
After this.
The ritual pertains: surround the target, subdue them, use hammer or other blunt object, restrain them, carve out their heart, recite the words, put the clicker into their chest, flick the switch 2 times to make sure it works. Remember, floodlights on tripods. We need to see what we're doing. Always work in pairs. Well,
This seemed like a cult dedicated to trying to kill the things that come out of the lake,
yeah.
This is one weird cult.
which I'd kind of assumed before, but
Yeah, but this is confirmation of that. We are the cult of the tree. We watch in the night. I see it now. This is our mission. Make the woods scary again. It's a tree. A spruce tree.
Hey.
Keep them out. Keep them safe. Together we are a forest. Cult of the tree.
Rose. She's that waitress from the diner.
She is that waitress from the diner. Rose Marigold observations. Leaves home in car. Arrives at Oh Dear Diner. Opens restaurant. Spills a cup of coffee. Stares at coffee puddle and seems suddenly delighted. Begins talking animatedly to the puddle. Server not in diner did not hear her. Goes on break. Back from break, ate a sandwich and wrote in a notebook. Couldn't see text. Stares at ceiling for fan for approximately 50 seconds, smiling. Leaves Oh Dear Diner on foot. Stops at pier and writes a notebook. Stares at clouds and becomes upset, shaking her head and speaking up at the sky. Not close enough to hear. Leaves pier, arrives at car, enters, arrives home. Watches TV, cooks dinner, macaroni and cheese, watches TV while eating, goes to bed, reads The Sudden Stop, turns off lights. Intermittent surveillance of the paracriminal group known as the Cult of the Tree shows that their operation is limited to a small area of Washington state. Group is reported to be made up of dedicated individuals equipped with only common tools. Overall level of organization is low. Overall comprehension of redacted is low. Our assessment yielded a category orange risk status. Further inquiry should be made as to the exact details and sources of their knowledge regarding paranatural elements. Investigation unit recommends the Cult of the Tree be kept under permanent surveillance with preparations made for the group's arrest and seizure of its assets. See file 8521-1027 for full report and recommended action. Summary and full report to be forwarded to Dr. Marmont and Dr. Marmont and Dr. Marmont at the
two Dr. Marmonts.
Dr. Marmont Squared at the Coldren Lake Research Site, as both operate in a shared area. Addendum: recommended action downgraded to continued intermittent surveillance. No arrest due to prioritization of resources. You were right. These sneaky fuckers are watching us, and our level of organization is fine. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. About that.
They sent out agents to look at them, and they just... The agents just chatted with them, and they had coffee, and they told them all about the Bureau.
Yeah, they've done a very bad job.
Yeah.
Okay, we have sorted our inventory, we've saved, we've looked at everything that's in here.
We looked at everything that's not in the basement.
Yeah, and we have all the cult stashes now. How did I... Oh, I can't...
Oh, on the outside. Oh,
they might be on the outside.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick look in case, but I think those might be on the outside of the building.
They're all right up against the wall. Yeah, that's something.
Manuscript page. Great.
Nice.
Nothing here.
Horrible.
And okay, here's the bolts.
It was just one bolt. There were like 5 bolts there.
There was 2.
Okay.
We got 2.
Okay. That's fine.
The others were darts.
So why did she pick them up?
Probably knocked them off. Then Colt Stash is outside. Colt Stash is outside. Okay. Great. Oh, stuck on a lawnmower. Stuck.
Keep an eye out, Duff. You keep watch. Tell me if the cult's coming. Honk twice if the cult are coming.
I'm starting to run out of space. More bolts.
We got a couple of bolts.
Could probably use it, but
A creepy
Yes.
basement.
Reload is just a lot.
yeah. No,
Also, we hadn't needed it.
Shit.
it's true.
And it's still in the process of upgrading.
Hey! Freeze!
Alright, Tucker.
That's the clicker.
Where did they go? Please.
No! They took it! They're playing with me. I was so close.
I don't know if we were really that close. To be fair, what's that?
There was another overlap here in
Also, I think I see
Watery.
something over there in
The
the corner.
parade float was the key.
And it's not just Alan's face.
Mulligan and Thornton had gone there, taken the clicker, left this monster here to stop her.
Oh,
There's
excuse
an
me?
overlap here, like there was at Cauldron Lake.
I don't want to go to
Mulligan
the
and Thornton
overlap.
are like Nightingale,
It's bad
inside,
there.
waiting. And a parade float is the key.
There's something big and heavy
Atakan is
and
upstairs.
stompy upstairs, and it's not the child
This was
in
a
the
trap.
apartment above.
I mean, it could be the child in the apartment above.
I mean, there is some of that going on, but
It sounds it's a similar volume and density. Actually, not
it's too.
not quite as dense
too
as
slow.
normal stuffs.
Want me to draw a picture of me holding hands with a demon? I can do that. Oh god, that's very large. It's very big from when we were doing the Silent Hill stuff. Let me make this smaller. Because it does not need to be that big. Oh god. Alright. I'll be right back. This is fine. This works. Kind of. Why is it shaped like that? Let me... Sorry, I have to reframe MS Paint here. Because it's been a minute since we've done this. First off, thanks for the redeem. Hey, there we go. Oh, it's a little too wide on the one side. There we go. Haven't had an MS Paint redeem in a hot minute, so I'm excited about it. Let me put some music on while we do a doodle. You can also hold hands with whatever malevolent creature you want. Nah, we're here for a demon. Let's go.
We love demons here.
It's demon time. If I do this, yeah, that kind of forks it. All right. Let's see. We'll start with this.
Kesh made friend cookies, and Kesh doesn't even like the friend cookies, so now I get to eat them.
You get to eat all the friend cookies.
So many cookies.
They're friend cookies in that they made them for my friend.
Oh.
This is my long wiggly demon friend.
Is that long over there?
Might be long over there. This arm got a little weird. Got a little out of control. Sometimes wiggly arms get out of control. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm going wild with it.
Sorry.
Maybe you can just cough?
I'm sorry. I ruined everything.
No, it's fine. Oh god, the child upstairs is stomping though.
Yeah, this time when we were making jokes about.
It started a little bit before
Squidward there.
This is Abstract Squidward. Y'all know Abstract Squidward. That's pants. I know how to draw pants. That's a pocket? Because this is a hoodie, obviously. Clearly. Oh boy, what a demon. You can tell he's a demon because he's got horns.
Yeah, she's happy.
I don't know what's going on there. That's a face. That works. Oh god. Trying to make the pupils at least slightly similar sizes. This is fine. That's what I'm here to do, is make the cutes, I guess. Nope, nope, not that.
Big eye is on the big side of the glasses, so that makes sense.
It works. My coloring skills are not great with a mouse and keyboard. I guess just a mouse, but you know, it's fine. We can go back over that, outline that again.
You got big hair.
Got big hair! My hair is not as big as it used to be, just because it's very long now, so it's too heavy to be big. But it's fine. Nope. Tools. Oh no. We got this. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. That's too thin. There we go.
Hey.
You need to be closed. He's also got little bat wings on his head.
Mustache.
On the side of his head?
I mean, he has a very narrow head.
Yeah, but that's nose.
Well, now you didn't have a nose before, so how were I to know?
And he's got little teeth. And I guess I also have demon horns, is the thing about me.
That's true, can't confirm.
Right, I was coloring in my pants, huh?
You gave it a go.
There we go.
Hey!
Vaguely people colored. And then we'll make his legs green. And his torso and arms red.
It's a festive Christmas demon.
Oh god. I've done that, haven't I?
He's all ready for the
let's change.
the season.
Let's do it's Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey is the demon that I am holding hands with. Yellow teeth. And gray wings. And we have matching horns, obviously, of course.
you spell her name?
Probably.
Let's take that down to 18. 22. I can't see that. There we go.
Yeah.
What's today's date? November 1st. That's too much. What do you mean?
Does that mean it's gonna turn on?
I mean, it's always on. Yeah.
Oh, it turned off.
Yeah, it did the thing. Okay, it's fine. We're
Sorry, we were crazy for a second.
We're people again. There we go. Oh, I guess it's a little tall, isn't it? Hold on. Can't see all of it. Just cut off the words a little bit, that's all. But there we go.
That's an app.
There's our art. We did it. We made art. Let me screenshot that real fast, and I'll post that in Discord. Right after I save it. Where is desktop, Twitch, art, doodles. Save that as a JPEG.
Alright, Fairy Demon and Fish.
And then we'll post that in lay art. So you can have that. Oh, where I usually post these. It's been a minute, is the thing.
It's just good at plastic, right?
Yep, that's usually where I post those. There we go. So if you want a copy of that for yourself, it's there.
Did get 200 just before I ran away to visit Couch.
So close.
My 200 follower special was me leaving for 3 weeks.
A wonderful thank you to everyone for all the support. Fuck you, I'm leaving. That was fun. I like that. I like that paint redeem. I haven't done those in a while, and I really like it. Thank you. Thank you, Britt. Not your alt Baraka bussy.
Oh no.
Oh no. Wonder if you don't have that yet. I think you have to claim it now. I think that's required. Sorry, Baraka Bussy sort of like broke my brain for a second, and I don't know what I'm doing right now.
I think it does say it.
I'd rather think and say Baraka Bussy than Poo Poo Man!
It's Poo Poo Man!
It's Poo Poo
He's
Man.
here!
Okay.
Great!
Jesus.
Perfect!
Now where's that parade float?
Holy shit, I didn't think that was gonna take
That
him
was
out.
really good.
That was very good. Alright, Too far away. Now we know. Can we not take 2 charges? Yeah, I know how to destroy it. Here's the thing, you require too many charges for me to get rid of it. I need an upgrade on my flashlight to make it just slightly more powerful. Baraka Bussy is now following!
You doubted?
I doubted, and I regret doubting. I'm being followed by Baraka Bussy, and this is beautiful. You are 200. Beautiful. Perfect. It sounds like you're being followed by Barack Obasi as well now.
Thanks, Barack. Thank you, Mr. Obasi.
Former President Mr. Obasi. Oh, beautiful. Okay, sorry. This is very good.
And there was a section outside. Sorry.
I can't get there, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think it's on the locked side.
Yeah, probably.
You need
Yeah,
to-
you're right. You're
Need
right.
to get there. There is.
Need,
However, a manuscript over here.
You need the bolt underscore cause for that.
It's true.
Is this the parade float?
The overlap formed around Watery's dark past. The ritual to enter was tied to crafting the float.
Oh boy.
Art was the key. It had the power to let Saga in.
At Cauldron Lake, giving the poem and the heart to the witch sign opened the
We calling
overlap.
this art?
Here,
I mean,
it's a parade float.
To be fair, it is. It is art.
But it's incomplete. This is one disturbing parade
Haunting
float.
laughter echoed up
I
from
don't
the
hear
well.
any haunting laughter.
Well, that's because you have to press play on the voice recorder over there.
Not
we need
sure
a
what
knife?
Puko means, but it looks like the knife is missing.
I mean, just a little knife. And a
How
mask.
come one of them is wearing a mask and the other isn't?
Well, you see, they hadn't quite gotten the other mask just yet.
You can see where the mask is supposed to go. It says mask.
Stabbing again and again.
I am.
That
You
must
have
mean the
exactly
arm's supposed to
200
move.
followers.
Nice. It's Barack Obasi. Thanks.
Barack Obasi.
Thanks, Barack Obasi. Okay, we have looked at all that. We'll figure out the overlap thing in a minute. For now, we gotta go to the Espresso Express. Because we got that fuse. Where is... It's this way? I think we'll just keep going. Let's not bother with any of that. Oops, wrong way.
Just leave them to the business.
We'll go our way, they'll go theirs. It's all fine, actually. Fuse? Okay, they aren't following, so that's great. Can I press the button?
There we go. Now I just need to stop it in a position that will let me get to that circuit board down there.
Oh.
There?
We need the one without the thing on.
Yeah.
It goes like almost a full rotation. Like right as you see you go past stuff it. Hey. That's not so bad.
Yeah. I was just confused where it wanted me to stop it for a second there.
Yeah. But one got to see what I was gonna do, and then one got to do it.
Yeah. Nothing? Alright. Is this what you wanted? No? Okay.
What did you want? What?
Saga, you have to be a little more clear about what we're doing. Maybe that is where I need to be. But why aren't we interacting with anything? Do I not have the bit that I need?
It'd still be a thing there, wouldn't it? It'd still be a button.
Not necessarily. Looks like I need to like put something in it.
Yeah, it's like the menu would come up, and then you won't be able to find anything. You think?
Not if I don't know that I need to do a thing, because it's done that a couple of times before.
Can we go to the Mind Palace and sort this out right now?
I mean, I don't know that I have all of the info that I need.
That's better.
Logan part in the story. I have a bunch of shit that I have to put down for Logan.
You got a ton of crap.
Looking at all the things. So busy
No,
looking at all the things.
That is not going on the board.
You can't deny evidence.
goodness.
Scribbled over it?
My life in Watery.
Scribbling on the evidence?
Can't believe she would do this. Oh, that's for Logan. And the utility bill. I'm missing one, so maybe they missed something in her house.
Maybe.
Or we just haven't found it yet. That's also possible. It's true, though. America lately, half the population denies evidence. Cries. Deputies. We got some profiling.
Logan and Thornton were fine earlier. How did this happen?
A terrible mistake. Shadows crept over Mulligan and Thornton.
Shadows on their faces.
I like this evil voice that they're doing. Very silly.
Fucking finest. Shitty pastrami sandwich.
Mulligan and Thornton
Yeah,
became
that
like
sandwich.
Nightingale.
That's all it took.
Nobody likes
Tip
eating
them over
bad
the edge.
sandwiches.
Mulligan and Thornton are members of the cult.
Womp
Who's the
womp.
leader?
Brains leaking out.
I'd also become a taken if I ate a bad sandwich, to be fair. There's very little that's more earth-shattering than that.
The forest. The word. A secret like this doesn't die.
There is more than one leader.
I mean, that tracks.
Yeah.
I thought we had found more than emus.
I thought we found 3.
That's what I thought. We don't have any more of those at the moment. We gotta pet the deer.
5 remaining.
5 remaining. Okay.
Getting through them.
Shouldn't have pet that one.
Yeah. It's trash. Oh. Right. We need to look at the board a bit more. Case board.
Possibly didn't move stuff.
Well, I mean...
I don't know what we need to do to let her know that she needs to get to the thing.
Oh? He's gonna fill all this out for me? Cool. We need a knife. We need a moving character. We need a mask. And we need the laughter from the well.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Great.
I was hoping to let her know that she needed the...
Of course not.
Okay, good.
That's not right.
Cult goal, who's involved, Mulligan and Thornton, cult symbol, cult psychology. Do you want the hideout there? Who's involved? Okay. It kind of makes sense because it is like in their basement.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's involved? Mulligan and Thornton. Psychology?
Doesn't look right.
Except for who's involved. I know it doesn't say she's involved.
Oh, I
It
guess.
says they're looking at her, but
Yeah.
it's like a specific person.
That goes in psychology, but or maybe not actually. The drug-fueled scribbles on the origin of the cult triangle symbol. Symbols. I suppose. Note detailing the steps of the cult ritual. Cult ritual? What is it? Cultist
Think
note.
Saga.
Admonishing members sabotaging FBC equipment. Okay. Cultist note about ritual being interrupted. Never mind.
Just somewhere.
Who's involved?
Keep trying.
Ma'am, I'm putting it
tried all of
on
them.
everything.
Not that one.
Try everyone. Oh.
Okay. Who's involved? Alright. Flatter doesn't like ding you for putting him in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Overlap, how to enter, dark place. How does the story change reality? Can't do that one yet. Alright. And we don't have anything else.
What's missing from the parade float?
Well,
I need to put it together.
Saga, I've told you what's missing. And you weren't listening. So we'll come back here later. At least we have it set up and ready to go.
Yeah.
We need to find a knife. We need to get a mask. We need... Are there any other stashes around
There
here?
were plastic knives in the gift shop, right? Because the kids kept stabbing people in the eye with them.
Stabbing themselves in the eye with them.
Kids just be stabbing.
Oh, and I can probably get the laughter from that one.
Fucking guy.
Yeah. Oh god, there's dudes everywhere. Pick that up. Where the fuck did you go?
You're getting percolated.
He's getting percolated. He wibbled for a second?
Yeah,
no!
I thought we were dead. But he was actually just doing like
A dance move!
funny moves.
Sir, you can't. Okay. We're done with this.
I'm never gonna get used to this.
We're not doing that anymore. We're done.
That was enough.
Very obnoxious. They do give us quite a bit of ammo when we get an ammo pickup.
Yeah.
I'm so used to those being like 6 bullets that I was a little weary about.
It's like 15 a minimum and sometimes more.
Yeah,
I guess
knife.
a toy knife will do.
We found a knife. Okay. Then we need to go find the horrible laughing coffee pot. Which was over near the percolator.
Yeah, I think that when we were looking for the percolator, we kept finding it by accident.
Yeah.
Which was horrible.
Should be around here somewhere. Not there.
He's going.
You.
Tried shooting it.
Thank
Turns out that
God.
would have been a problem later.
Good thing the game did not let me destroy the thing we needed. And then we need a mask, which you can probably get from the hideout?
That makes sense.
And nope, that's not what I wanted to click. I want... Trail of the Cult?
I think so.
Yeah. So we need hookah knife. We got. It says mask where the face should be.
The thing to make it moving has to be
from the Espresso Express.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how to tell the game that we're here and we know that we need a thing and we want to get the thing.
Yeah. Let's go put these on the float first.
Okay. Well, it's right by the cult hideout anyway.
That's the percolator. It's just a weird word, and I kind of like saying it.
Percolator.
Percolator. There was a fish in the percolator. Never believe it. Is there someone over here? Please say no.
That no, then there's someone else with that.
No, no, they said no. And if they said no, but they were there, then they'd be lying.
That's bulletproof logic. Can't argue that.
Is this? No, I've gone the wrong way. Yeah.
Test the horrible murder well. We know we're going the right way.
Yeah, just gotta get back to the murder well. Which is not here, but is down there? I am looking directly at it.
Can we jump?
No. Saga doesn't want to break
Maybe a
her
little-
ankles.
Oh, hop.
I think it's right here. Hey, you're supposed to be in there. Once you go in the well, you don't come out. Horrible.
Bad behavior.
Been expecting that the whole time, so we're not surprised that it happened. Won't let me interact with that. And won't let me interact with that anymore. So I need to get all the things before we can put anything on. My god, I need to go in there. You have pushed the thing in my way. Okay, you could take literally any of these.
Lady, why were you take me?
Can you...
Are you joking?
Ma'am.
Take any one of them. Does she not know that she needs to do this? It's like...
I mean, she does kind of seem like an idiot at times.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the problem we're having is that the game doesn't know that we're ready to do this.
I mean, we've filled out the board as much as we can. And
Hey, let's get the knife and the...
Yeah. I don't know. Let me look at that, because it might tell me where I need to get the things.
That'd be nice.
Seems like there should be audio coming from it. Well, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Find evidence. Okay, great.
Cool. Can we profile the guys anymore? Now we've got everything up on the board.
Nope.
Huh. What's the issue here, Gimp? So we can't pick up the mask and we can't pick up the thing from the ride.
We have half of the things.
Have half the things. We have the half that it let us pick up. We've been to the other half, but it didn't let us pick them up.
Please. Map load. Map load. Okay, the thing that I can investigate there. That might be... It's not the percolator. That
There was a
here.
thing across the...
I thought I looked at that before.
So
No, I
this is the
think I had
Coscola
wanted to
Brothers
look at
parade
it,
float.
and then it wouldn't let me.
Looks like only 4
Okay.
pieces are missing.
Okay, I think this is fine.
The mask is the only one without a location listed.
Well, that's not helpful.
There's so many masks everywhere.
I can't make out what it says. Gift shop. Easy.
I've already
Espresso
done that.
Express. Got it. Fair trade fun zone.
Okay. Saga, you're kind of an idiot.
It already said where to get all these things. Well,
Is
we'd
missing a
passed them
soundtrack?
and we knew.
Circuit board for the moving bit.
Should the characters be moving?
That's the knife.
The float killer used a knife.
And
Or
that's
I figured out what the float is missing.
moose
The float
skull.
killer isn't wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Maybe he
Yeah,
needs
you're
one.
right. He's not.
The materials listed for the parade float mention a mask. Where is it?
Poor Mocha Moose. He never failed to amuse me. No,
I didn't say amuse.
There
I
is
said
such
amuse.
a thing as too much
The man
coffee.
said amuse?
Mocha will live on in a place of honor.
He didn't say amuse.
I know.
He lost his head.
The subtitles
Mulligan
thought he
and
did, but he
Thornton
didn't.
had one job.
Mulligan and Thornton must know where the Moose Skull mask is.
Okay, but that's not going to be particularly helpful because they are fucking taken.
The mask is missing. Where is it?
It's saying skull mask like it's one word.
Muscle mask.
Muscle mask.
Master. Moose steak is never a mistake. Just get it fucking done.
They know where it is. I know they know.
We've established that.
Where is the mask?
Saga, please. You're actually gonna kill me.
Ah, it's in the bad well.
The moose mask is at the Huatari Well, in Coffee World.
Oh, we're heading back there anyway, because we need to get the motor you wouldn't pick up.
I saw something.
Okay.
Like I did in Cauldron Lake. The well, here in Coffee World. I know the moose skull will be there.
Before we do that, because it seems like that is going to initiate a boss fight,
It could do.
let's go to the Espresso Express, which is over here, and I keep forgetting that it's over here.
It's here. I knew it would be.
Saga,
I
we
made
walked
them show
past it
me.
already, is the thing. We've already seen it. Get on in there, ma'am. Of course. Let's actually do this time. I get that they, like, are making you do some of the things so you can remember that the mind place is there, because otherwise you might just kind of ignore it a lot of times.
That's true.
Shit!
But I wish that
Good
it
thing no one
wasn't
was
for
writing that.
silly, simple things like this one.
Yeah.
It seemed like a bad time.
Oh, I'm not sure again into that.
Please, I just want a crouch button. Maybe we can just go through now. Maybe there's that thing that was blocking our way is actually destroyed now. Hopefully. It better be. Oh, yep. Okay, great.
Easy.
Perfect.
Loud, but easy.
More things.
One day manuscript.
Not
Nice.
Alright.
I think you knocked the other one back down the well,
I mean, that's where he belongs.
which I thought was funny.
Get down there. Also, give me this.
Muscle mask.
This feels like
Now I need
it
to bring
would
the
be
mask
too
to the
heavy
float.
for the float. Are we really just gonna? I mean, it makes sense that we would carry it. It is very large. It's just very silly.
Yeah.
Here you go.
The
Let's
moose
go,
skull
moose.
goes here, obviously.
Muscle.
There's your knife.
Does
Some
it?
creepy laughing for atmosphere.
Where do you want me to put this one? Nope. Wrong button. There.
A little something to get those arms moving.
Uh-oh.
Ah,
Okay, Saga.
I mean, I guess this is how we get into the overlap, so it's not too horrible. It just definitely is a thing.
castle going down the well.
I mean, this is what I've wanted since the beginning.
Wanted?
Yes.
Oh no.
Do you want to use your flashlight, Saga?
What the hell? Where am I?
You're in the well. Well? Wow. Okay. What's this? dark and
It's a very tiny boat.
a little eerie. Well, let's go in here first, I think. Great. Or it just starts. Not as great. Oh! Oh, we're here! We're back at
There's a
the
little
sauna.
box behind it, so.
Yeah, it's, I don't think I can activate it. It's just the sauna.
Yeah.
Well, that's nothing.
I want to open it and see what treasures are inside.
Not allowed? Can't do it?
What about that gnome? Has he got secrets?
What gnome?
Oh, it's not a gnome, it's a lake. It's not like it's an ocean.
Yeah, the sequel to It's Not a Lake, It's an Ocean. It's not a gnome, it's a one of those. We'll just fill that out automatically because we've done it. How to enter? Yeah. And those are for later. Alright. A little low on ammo.
Yeah, we're starting to get there. Might be time I bring the crossbow to retirement.
Yeah. But I don't have many things for it. Any upgrades? I just have the one. Is there...
You got one big upgrade.
Yeah. Where is... That's not where we are. We're not there anymore.
I don't think we're on any of the maps.
We should be in Watery.
Kind of.
No, this is just like up, just like right by the edge of the lake in Watery. I guess we only have the, like we should be like here.
Yeah.
But I guess we're in the overlap, so.
If the world connects together the way it used to, that's where we are, probably.
But I need a place to get my shit.
Look, there'll be stuff in the box.
Unless there's not.
You let your own kid drive.
Excuse you.
Everyone at Deer Fest always plays it safe.
A weird thing to say menacingly, but okay.
You let Logan drown.
Hold on, Logan.
Logan! I'm here!
Trying to find a safe house.
Logan!
But nowhere is safe.
I bet it's safe where Logan is.
Nah, we're trying to get into the place called the Overlap, which is just like a bad version of normal place.
The story is trying to take Logan.
We need to
I can still
find
stop
an
this.
item that will
need the
help
clicker.
us stop the monsters.
Maybe that special light remote thingy.
Wake? I saw him this way in the other overlap.
Look, Alan Wake wrote the story. It's not very
It's a
good.
loop.
What are you gonna
Just
do?
like before.
Alan Wake is a little difficult to explain as a whole because it's all very silly.
Yeah.
The man is fucking dead.
Not well.
Anything new in here? Nope. We're just gonna keep looping, huh? That's fine. We can loop.
We're just looping.
You're right, man was just sleeping. He was just so tired. He's probably been fishing all day. It really takes it out of you. That was kind of a cool effect. I don't know if it was intentional, but it looked like a face. You big fish head over there.
Kesh loves
I
fishing.
don't like fishing.
Kesh's favorite thing to do is fishing.
Not my favorite thing. I hate fishing.
When are we going fishing?
Never.
We should go fishing.
We're gonna go fishing just as soon as we watch Space Jam, and neither of these things will ever
We can
happen.
watch Space Jam anytime.
This is a nightmare.
No.
I can't get through that. I need to look for another way through.
Wife should take you fishing. Consider. Tell wife I say that she should take you fishing. Also, that's Ahti. That's an Ahti song. Oh. Game, you have to stop playing with my emotions like this. You can't promise me Ahti and then take Ahti away?
You hear, bud? You hear, Ahti?
Just trying to keep an eye out for items as well. What's going on over here? Can't go up there. We'll just follow the music.
Yeah.
Things are changing.
That's some treasure.
Heard somebody gurgling.
No.
Yeah.
It's the rain.
No.
Rain gurgles and puffs.
I think that's true. Shaky?
Poor lad.
Well, he shouldn't have been running through the woods going, murder!
Yeah, that's a fair response to someone in a robe jumping out and yelling murder at you.
I feel like that would be a generally like a very rude thing to do to someone out in the woods. Win stupid prizes for playing stupid games. Flashlight doesn't aim where I think it's going to. I always think it's gonna aim like in the center, but it does kind of go a little
Slightly
to the right,
to the... Yeah.
which is very hard to account for some reason for me. So that's a thing.
It's an issue.
Well, again, maybe they shouldn't have jumped out and shouted weird things at me. Can I over here now?
Imagine someone unloading a whole clip point blank and still vibing.
I see that face.
Or cool effect.
I like when they like put the real faces over things. It's just real neat. And they use it really super effectively that at times it is just kind of like unnerving.
Yeah.
Alright, horrible giggling. It's Ahti and the janitors. Going here now?
Okay. Going down.
The fact that I mean, like, I understand she can't hold the flashlight while she's climbing down, but, I'd put it in my mouth or something. Shove it in my pocket. Climb down with one hand. I don't know. It would scare me going down a ladder into a pitch black well.
Yeah. Huh.
This is fine. We're just gonna go.
Trapped how?
If think the
What
Alan
does
that
that
we have
mean?
is actually Scratch?
I mean, kinda, yeah.
I meant to say that, like, way earlier, like yesterday's stream, but...
I think you mentioned
Okay.
the theory.
I couldn't remember if I had or not. So just go on the record for sure now. I'd be like, I don't think the Alan we have is the actual Alan.
But that's just the theory.
No. I don't like it when the men's laugh at me.
What's happening?
Rude! How would they feel it if I laughed at them? Probably wouldn't be very happy about it, huh?
Probably not.
Okay.
I think I would have got Petrus.
Let's take this. Nope. There.
Anyway, we want the crossbow. We don't need 18 arrows for it.
Yeah. I'm gonna take one more of those.
Yeah, all pretty good when you used it.
Right? And then let's do this. Actually, before we do that, that's loaded. That is not loaded. Oops. Hello? They are going hog wild over there.
Just having a giggle in the woods. Like you do.
You? Coming out? Or am I going in? Whoop, you're coming out. I think he went back in the well. Oh,
nope.
No, he's fucking dead. Well, that was easy.
Oh, Jesus.
Ow!
That didn't seem to do
Yeah.
quite what we thought.
She is not wanting to do anything for me, actually. Is the thing. Why is everything broken?
What's that?
I can't aim my flashlight.
Huh.
And she won't dodge. She won't interact with anything.
Yeah, that's not correct. Can you get killed?
Swap weapons. Okay, this is...
Ah! That's an issue.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Got there in the end.
Everything just broke? And
Yeah.
said, no, you can't play anymore.
That's a shame.
Oh boy. Flares, bad. Don't use them.
Don't use flares. Never use a flare. It doesn't do anything
It breaks your game.
and breaks the game.
Sorry, just looked over and saw that Baracko Bussy followed me.
Bracco Bussy did do that.
Reminded of Baracko Bussy. And that made everything better. Okay, let's never use these again.
Yeah, those can go away.
Discard, I'm clicking you. Oh, you want me to click and hold? I mean, I guess that makes sense. I suppose. We liked this.
These
this
guys
is cool.
on.
Propane tanks. Good, actually. Come on. Come on.
I got it, Mulligan!
He didn't die in one shot that time.
Where the fuck did he go? You can't be up there!
It's working.
That...
Could blow up the next guy too.
Or, let's focus on all this. stop doing this.
It's not gonna stop.
Oh my god.
This will stop them.
You say that, but I don't know that that is true. I'm just gonna keep going back. Oh god. She's up there. Whoop. Okay, that's fine. This is fine. This is fine.
It's a lot. A lot going on. He can't hear you there. We could probably crossbow him.
Why would I waste all my stuff on him? Fuck off. You can't snipe me with a shotgun! That's not how those work!
It's really good with his shotgun.
I'm gonna fucking scream.
That is just not going.
Saga, you have to do this faster. Why do you only equip one when we have multiples? This is really not needed.
Yeah, it's not great. It might be easy to shoot him and then do it.
I hate that. I hate that a lot.
The deputies will just keep coming back unless I destroy those pieces.
Yeah,
of
Saga, I
darkness.
We
fucking know!
got that, Saga. They're just
Please.
really annoying is the thing.
There. Next time
Are we
they won't
done?
be coming back.
Okay, great. Where are we loading? Well, that seemed not great.
Not ideal.
Leave me alone.
They're not leaving me alone. Fall down, man.
Come here. You have a bolt in your face, sir. I don't know if you know this.
That'll do.
Stay over there.
This guy's just asking to get crossbowed.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You missed, Saga. You're supposed to aim for the crosshair in the middle of the screen. Hey!
Horrible.
It's just really
Saga
annoying.
Anderson, listen.
Wake?
I've been tricked. Scratch wrote. I tried to fix the story, but he has it now. It's the key to escape.
What do you mean, escape? You're already out. So is Scratch.
We're making progress. I wrote to be the story's hero. Save her family. Save us all.
Save her family? Are you talking about my family?
Yes, you know it's working. You just need to keep going.
Did you put my family in the horror story?
Saga, this is not the time.
I keep seeing him in overlaps, but he's already out.
Weird that. The guy who keeps saying there's an evil double of him.
When he was still trapped in the dark place.
I'm sure it's fine. I wouldn't worry about it,
I
really.
have the clicker. I can stop this nightmare.
Can you? Can you, though? Are you
sure about that.
They're just an annoying boss fight. You don't want to waste the resources, but you kind of have to make them stop shooting you with shotguns.
Yeah, because your flashlight is actual piss.
Wake said he could use the clicker
Yeah.
to undo the horror story. I need to get back to Bright Falls.
It's
to
really
Casey and
annoying
Wake.
that the
I should check
torch
in with
is
Casey.
so hard to aim.
So bad.
It's just not quite in the middle of the screen where it's aiming.
This makes it very difficult to do anything with it.
And it's like one full
I need to
blast
get the clicker to Wake
to
and
take the
close this
darkness
damn
off
case.
anything.
Before my family
Which
gets
means
dragged
it
any
always
further into
takes
it.
two, because
Because it's rude.
she's not holding it properly for the first one.
I saw that darkness lingering there. I see that.
That's nothing. Just a ghost. Oh, that might be a broken shadow.
We need to go. We need to go back to Bright Falls. Gotta swap to Alan.
Gonna say we're gonna swap to Alan.
There is a point of interest there, though. Is that just the well? Is there anything more I can do with the well? No. No. Yeah, we can start some Alan stuff. That's fine.
We'll play as Alan Wake in this Alan Wake game.
I do appreciate that the focus isn't like solely on Alan.
Yeah.
Like he's
'cause I don't
here and
like-
he's involved and like he is a big part of it, but it's not
Come on, Casey.
quite as
No answer.
obnoxious.
There is a lot
David.
going on. It's kind of rad.
Yeah.
Pick up.
No one wants to answer you, Sokka.
Hey, this is David.
Oh,
Leave a
hi.
message.
David.
Never mind.
Can you call me back, please?
Never mind.
It's urgent. Please. Why isn't
Sokka,
David
where are we?
answering?
I
Is
I
Logan
just
all right?
don't-
How
Like,
does
oh,
this
my
all
class
work?
is talking.
Has the
Like
horror story
that.
already gotten her? Wake should know.
Listen. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to do. Game. Here's the thing. I'm trying to do that.
Is there a Jenna's bucket in town?
The flooding's lowered. I should look around. See where the water was hiding.
Oh. So EXP, achievement unlocked.
What are you doing? Oh, okay. I didn't let go. This is the thing.
I might just do that if you hold it too long.
Yep. Okay. Well, let's just do that.
That works. Yeah,
His
that'll
head got
do.
juiced.
So much gunk came out. His like whole face fell off. It was
Yeah.
horrible.
It was pretty rad. I liked it.
Cause you.
It was pretty
You got
great.
twisted, okay?
I am a sick individual. Can I?
We gotta actually get through some of those dang bolts.
Yeah, but we still have
We still have many bolts.
so many. Please. There has to be a better way. We will take one of these. You go away. We hate you. Actually.
We
Single
could try the
shotgun.
rocket flare. We don't know that that does nothing and breaks the game. Fires in the first one are really good. You just pop one, you can do it whenever. It goes in its own slot, so you always have them equipped. And it just makes everyone leave you alone for a second. It's lovely.
Does not in fact break your game and make it so you can't do anything.
Yeah, you can do all kinds of things. It does make the screen go completely red because the smoke's red. So it's hard to see anything, but no one's hitting you while that's happening, so...
Gives you a minute to get your bearings.
Yeah.
Where is container? Behind me.
I'm quickly gonna get some water.
Do it. Water good? Water important?
You need that to live. Check now. Table check now.
Oh, I should probably put something else on that quick slot. So let's do our propane tanks. We like them. Kind of a fan. And we can explore down here. Said we were gonna play as
Can't be
Alan.
opened on this
Jokes,
side.
actually. Exploring more is right. Listen, he got 2 whole dang games to himself. He can share. Starlight Symphony, hair covering logo. Does hair do this in space? What is Rocket connected to? Full foot out for better silhouette. In space, no one can hear you sing. Comic book story idea, literal space opera, sci-fi musical with an alien love triangle, murder mystery. Aliens meet Rear Window. Sunshine meets The Sound of Music.
Fucking hell.
Musical parts drawn in black and white, negative colors, singing is rhyming, rhythm is visual. Break the fourth wall, go all out! This is gonna be my best work yet.
Sounds amazing.
Sounds like not for me.
Yeah.
But hey, draw what you want, pal. Yeah. House is haunted. Oh, it's the bad pizza again. Why are the pizzas so bad? Who hurt the pizzas?
It's like someone's like carved the sculpture of a pizza out of ice. I don't know what they were going for with these horrible pizzas.
Did the person who made these pizzas, had they never seen a pizza before? Is that what happened?
What a sad world to live in.
Right? Imagine never having pizza. Tragic. That one is locked.
I don't want it.
I explored off that way. So what's in Fish Clean?
Fish clean.
Oh,
that's clean fish.
Bear doll.
Ah, jeez. Gonna be another rhyme, huh?
Yeah. Is there anything back here before I go on to the dock? No. Child doll. It's over there, but there's a container here. First aid kit. Well, it's a trauma pad, I think, but it's
still good.
Another rhyme.
Old fisherman had great luck. His catch at sea was beyond belief, but the hungry guest found relief in the fisherman's bountiful truck. Is that a fisherman? No.
He's old. Maybe he's also wise.
Maybe. There's nothing here in the truck. Maybe house.
Okay.
We did it.
Oh, lovely.
This Candy is truck.
Candy is truck.
Why are you saying this?
Fish everywhere.
You love fish?
Are we following the trail of fish?
Following the trail of fish. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything else. Hello? Hey. Oh god.
In other towns.
Oh god.
So you are just meat. You're not allowed to keep fighting when all of the bits of you have fallen off.
Oh, Saga just decided she didn't want to do anything that I told her to do.
Oh, jeez.
Why is that not doing anything to her?
What's wrong?
Oh my god.
You're a powerful lady.
Horrible lady. Never again, lady. Fish.
I'm getting
New
quite the
charm.
charm collection.
That's not what I wanted. Increases quality and quantity of resources found.
That sounds pretty good. Gotta go on with something.
The stagger is meh. It's fine.
You do have a guaranteed stun on 2 headshots with the pistol. I don't know. It's nice when they're not coming at you, but it doesn't last very long.
No.
It's more like a little stumble, and then they're just right back on you.
Yeah. We'll just
Another
do what we're
locked
doing already.
box.
What's your deal? Can I use the clicker on you? Trailer park key? No. You want a key. I don't have a key. Is there a key in here? There's a trailer park key? Screwdriver? Yeah.
Nice. I think we can use screwdriver.
Right? There's a lot of places that we need to revisit in Cauldron Lake with the screwdriver.
Does it go full?
Thank you for the proposal. Starlight Symphony sounds like a wonderful project and a very creative idea. However, our publishing house will unfortunately have to decline at this time. Wish you all the best in the future. Hey, I moved the keys somewhere. The flooding can't wash them away. The spot might be a bit harder to reach, but I'm sure you can get your hands on them just fine. Just let me know you're okay, please. I miss you. I don't need to know where you are, just that you're okay. Just reply to me. You owe me that much. No one owes you shit, Megan, I think. Actually. I don't know what that situation is, but no.
In general. No.
No. What is this flashing out there?
Coming from across the street. And the light keeps turning on?
Horrible.
Maybe it's Morse code.
Well, they're never getting help. A snake in the tall grass. North American folklore. The pie in the sky is the moon. Oh.
Poltergeist activity. This one's also haunted.
Whole thing trailer park.
Yeah, it's full of ghosts.
Might be harder to reach, but it won't be where the flooding is. That tells me absolutely nothing.
Yeah, not a lot from that. Is it like on a roof? It's gotta be in this part, right?
You would think.
Because this is the only bit that's new.
You would think.
Is it on the bar?
Oh, do you have anything?
Boat don't flood. Boat go on top of water.
Boat go underwater. Something terrible has happened.
You're thinking a submarine.
No, that's fine. That's what it's supposed to do. Hi. Did I miss something in Logan's room, by the way? Since we're here. Looked at that, looked at that, looked at that. Looked at that, looked at that.
Saw the picture with the 2 guns.
Absolutely. Oh.
Oh, it's death in Night Springs.
Why did that why is this happening?
Game's having a time.
Oh, game. I don't think I missed anything in here. That's fine.
I think it's that flare that did it, you know.
I'd believe it.
Just never use a flare.
They're bad, actually. It's a trap. They will hurt you.
They're not good.
What do we have on our map? What do we got going on here?
Item bolt cutters.
Just Colt stash. No indications of where key could be.
Somewhere the flood will go.
Very unhelpful. Where won't flood go?
Sky? Boat?
How do we get key there?
Is key in orbit?
Key, are you up there? Hey, Key?
I mean, he just kept it in his pocket and left.
That'd be horrible.
There's so many places the flood will go.
Could be in there, but it was flooded. Is the thing. Are you in both? The fact that it was like, it might be hard for you to get.
Yeah. Makes you think it's probably on a roof.
Well, I don't think they would put it on a roof. I don't think there's any way for me to get up to a roof.
Is there a ladder? Use ladder to get to roof.
I haven't seen any ladders.
You don't wanna, you gotta climb the ladder. Oh, I can't believe you've done that, you rapscallion. Just cause you don't like fishing. Oh, friend, you need to get out of the cable. To not be in there.
He's gonna be in there.
No.
What he does?
He's got distracted by your Battlestar Galactica box.
Fuck! Move!
Got twice as many legs as
We need less legs.
Hey!
Sorry, dog.
Sorry.
Oh. Dog. You gotta talk about what you're doing.
Oof. You know what? I hate shooting dogs. Dogs are friends, they're not for shooting. Some of us aren't cops, actually. We don't want to shoot dogs.
Just an annoying enemy type. Just do something better. You can do better, game. Get up here. Is this where the key is? Are you really?
Buddy, that part was underwater. You did it bad. That's a weird point. Okay. Sure.
The woods will swallow you whole.
Ah,
well, that's fine.
hey, when that happens.
Can I not be here anymore? I'd like to not be here anymore. I think I would like to leave this place and not be here anymore. Also, I didn't mean to hit the map, but we have opened the map. Sorry, I like clicked on a whole bunch of stuff earlier when I was freaking out about my game not working. Nursery rhymes. Yeah, I know about point of interest cases. We've been working on those.
Kind of been playing the game a minute. How far in away? Like 10 hours now?
Probably at this point like closer to 12.
Like 12 hours in.
Okay, they don't show up in any particular order. I understand. That's fine. We can work with that.
Yeah.
This one was found being watery. There are two more? There are two more? Two more in both?
Should be on the map. So we did find a map of all of them, so it would
Yeah.
make sense for them to be added to our map.
There's one. And
Yeah.
there's one. Container up there.
One's still on the locked side of the...
Yeah. We can't access that. That's fine. Did you really just put a new battery in your flashlight when we didn't need to? I think I might have like accidentally hit the button while I was trying to like reposition my hands on the keyboard, but
there were a button for that.
Stupid. Yeah, like why would I ever?
Yeah.
Why would
You need every
I
shot.
ever?
Why would I ever use that button?
Right? Okay, let's put that away. That can go away. Nope. That's fine. We'll do a quick save and then we'll head back to town. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Just leave. I don't have to kill every man I come across.
Kill every man.
Oh god, oh god, oh no.
The oldest house has gone dark again.
Oh! How does he know that?
Because everyone fucking knows everything about the Bureau here. They just cannot stop talking about their job.
Done it bad? They've done it so bad.
This bridge got fixed quick.
Yeah, we knew that. Hey Saga, we knew that?
It's been fixed a minute now, Saga.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we walked over it once.
Coffee friends.
Keep
Hey,
pausing.
what are y'all doing?
Never mind, they're just
They
struggling.
can't really help it. They're kind of just stuck that way. I won't say anything to me. Tragic.
Can't talk about swamp ass.
Also,
Too
like
busy
the show
keeping.
that Archie fella put on.
Yoko, we're going to a cool guy's house to drink some brewskis. Are you coming?
Gonna drink some brewskis.
No, Ilmo. I'm very busy wearing a turtleneck and drinking wine. Like an asshole. Oh dear, I know what Yoko needs. I'm a beer to the rescue.
Oh, what hell?
Bring out your
What
inner
aren't these
Wolverine
guys
with
selling?
I'm a beer.
They got a lot of plates spinning.
Wow,
Yeah,
this
next
is the best
exploded.
party ever. Thanks,
It
Alma
needed
Beer.
to.
Alma Beer is a traditional Finnish
Those
lager,
next need
and
to
we drink
explode.
it the
It's
Finnish
true.
way. At the bar while actively avoiding small talk with strangers. Getting blackout drunk on a boat during midsummer and trying not to drown. In the sauna, using your beer can to hide
Sauna.
your pippeli
Oh
from
no!
wandering eyes. Partaking in the Finnish tradition of kalsarikännit, drinking at home alone in your underwear with no intentions of going out. It's not sad.
I am familiar with this actually.
I think they have that
Alma
lots
Beer,
of places,
your
the
Finnish drinking
culture.
adventure starts here.
It's an actual thing that they do and have a name for. And it's very silly and I kinda like it.
There is a bucket there.
Yeah, but
That's fair. I just saw it. That's
we grab these things.
Oh, that's it.
Always here for that. Is that all that's back here? Might be all that's back here. Just wanna double check. There's no point of interest, so I think that's just marking the bucket. Oh.
It's an interesting bucket.
Let's swap over to Alan. Play as Alan for a little bit, and then probably call it there.
Just a quick Alan around.
Yeah. I'm gonna load. Thinking about loading.
It's got a lot of Alans. It's gonna take a minute.
Poor stinky Allens. Alright. We can get out of the horrible vortex now, please. Consider? Thanks.
That's a good place to learn about point of interest guesses.
I don't know why it keeps showing up there.
I was back. I wasn't able to escape.
Yeah, you
The
did it
dark
bad.
presence had stopped me.
Okay.
I'd seen the title page
no
of
one's
another
power.
manuscript. Return. I didn't remember writing it, but it felt familiar.
I think you told us
Important.
this before,
I
Alan.
had to find it.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is that
What are you doing? No monkey?
Poe as in Poe? Poe? You gonna play it? Unsure if it is, but I don't want to play it too long. Check that out in a bit. Alan, what do you want me to do? You want me to type? Is it time to type? We type in here?
Hey, I'm typing here.
Hey.
I
It's
would write a
typing
new
time.
draft of initiation
Fella, you
to
have
reach
to
Parliament
stop.
Tower using another murder site.
He's not gonna.
You're a menace.
Scratch
Yeah.
was reaching out from the dark place to get
That's what he
Alice.
does.
And you're in the lions again.
Farley, get down. Hey. What's going on, Alan?
Well, welcome. Our guest tonight is Alan Wake. This time we wanted
Oh,
to do
please
something
stop getting him on.
I
It's
was
not
back,
good.
and I
He
hadn't
died
forgotten.
who he is as
I
an
knew how
artist
this worked
and
now.
as a man,
I could take
where he comes
control,
from, where
no
he
more
draws his
surprises.
inspiration, what demons he wrestles with in the dark
It's
hours.
something in the building. It's coming from behind
Together
the
with our
window.
house band, the divine old gods of
It's not
Asgard,
a light on the
we have
outside.
created something very special. The song is called Herald of
annoying.
Darkness, but I like to
Right
call
in my
this next
bloody
segment
eyes it is.
the story of the journey of Alan Wake, the musical.
Horrible. What is Sam doing
Just
over
do what we
there?
always do. We'll chat.
Look at that little goblin.
Talking.
Sam's just vibing.
We'll sing it.
Just gonna stare, Alan. Just gonna stare at us.
Oh, geez.
What the hell?
That's what I'm
From
asking.
what I've gathered, you grew up nice and sheltered with mama's pretty stories and your own made-up view.
Oh my
And
God.
Mama gave me a magic clicker. Well, yes, I think it's true and fair to say.
Oh, God. Sorry, just have to look at the voice for a second. I feel like they want me to go somewhere.
Seems like it, but I can't kill them out. What?
Is it over here? Do I go over here? Sorry. Alan the Musical is breaking my brain. Oh no. What is happening?
That's amazing.
Oh my god! going to a casting call for Alan Wake, and you end up being a dancer for Alan the Musical, my life would be complete.
Yeah.
So you were drawn to stories early on. My dreams would light up my imagination. And you had nightmares night and day. Yeah, but with the clicker, I chased those frights away. Who you? So true. So here's the clue. Hope to remember. Visions that come true.
What's happening? There's a lot going on.
Gonna attack my ninjas.
Well, he just flails his clicker at him uselessly. I don't want to keep going. I just want to watch. Look at Elka go. This move. Oh, Sam!
Hey! Hey, he did the move!
I do love how involved he gets in everything.
He doesn't very focused, even when he's doing very silly things.
Oh, do you want me to over there? You want me to go over that way? Whee, I can spin too. Oh, okay, yeah, we go that way. I understand. Thank you.
Finally.
Don't say finally. This was perfect and beautiful, and I loved everything about it.
Don't pretend you didn't like that, Alan.
It was
Come on.
perfect. You can't not like that.
And the award goes to Alan Wake.
Still going?
And all your stories of crime and chilling thrillers of
Still going.
hard-boiled killers became bestsellers. It was all too much. I had to get away.
There's a ladder. Very good. Let's take that. Oh, okay. Got a little schmutz on your jacket, Alan. Thank you, Odin. What's this? My flashlight! Oh, that's where Casey died. Oh, shut up! Let us.
Oh, this.
Oh, thanks. Right? of the... You gonna ring?
I thought it was gonna be a music.
But there is more to it than
I'd be fine with that, I think.
I never meant for it to ruin my life that way. You just say you let the jaded lie.
I'm trying to like get all the screens in.
So sad, but true.
Cultist this way.
Who needs us? That cool guy.
He's gonna fight me.
Gonna get you?
Oh, he's there too!
Gonna suck you on is what it's gonna do. You're gonna feel his grip.
Ignore him! Please! Okay, getaway club. I'm going in a circle, I think, is the issue. And I need to find a light to steal, I think. Let him go. Yeah. Oh, that is just an abyss. I know it's you, Alan. Might need to go back and steal the light. I think I can go back, actually.
Huh.
Okay. Well, let's follow the signs again. Because maybe that'll trigger something.
Come on, sign.
Or we'll find a light on our way.
Once we go through into the middle, right?
They are turning on.
Oh. And if you like.
Alright. Follow the signs. It's okay that we got to listen to the song longer. Sorry, I was laughing too hard earlier and fucked my throat up.
Oh, jeez.
It's fine.
That was beautiful. I love that.
Hands down, my favorite part of the game.
This game has been amazing, and it's because you just never know what's gonna happen. Nothing is off the table. Don't work out for fucking Tom.
Right? Here.
We're recapping Alan Wake 1 now.
So if anyone missed the first game, this is what happened. Just like this, too. The old gods of Asgard were there. Big Alan was there. Sequin dancers were there. Flare gun!
Oh, lovely.
Oh! How much fun do you think they had doing this whole section?
Oh.
This is so intense! Alan! You're Alan! Oh. That is a flip. I realize my mistake now.
I mean, he got him.
Oh, I dodged way too fucking soon. Yeah. Wiggles under my shot. It's fine. He is so bad at reloading.
Starting over. Alan, it's fine. Just pick up where you left off.
No. You gotta start over. You gotta start all the way over. Yep. Okay. Well, let's see this then.
Yeah, I think the Flygon doesn't care about that.
Oh my god, Alan. We have to talk about what you're doing here. And the fact that you're doing it very bad. Across the board. Oh god. I don't know where you're going. There he is. That fucking missed!
Yeah, no shot ever hits exactly where you're aiming.
I don't need to know about point of interest case. Hold on. We're gonna, yep, get that out of there. No more tutorials.
Well done. Point of interest cases with the wrong character.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's not an option for us. Get the fuck out of here. Coming in right in the dick. Don't feel bad about it. Oh my god!
Exploded him in the dong, okay?
Good.
Blew his dong color.
Good. It was horrible and he just be gone. There we go.
Hey, you got that just yeah. This is a healthier state to be in.
Thought I heard another person. And there aren't any other caches. Okay.
Looks like we do.
He's doing the dance with a gun now.
A gun and a tot. Still doing the moves.
So much talent in this one, man. I think I get why everyone loves Alan, actually. I think I understand. Look at him!
Just this move.
It's very good. Porta potty, in case anyone needs to speak. Hello. Oh my god.
It's fine. It's just a lad.
I saw the Bigfoot over there and I got scared.
There are a lot of guys here.
There's gonna be a lot less in a moment. Alan!
Oh, he's alone.
He needs to get good.
Get good at having extra bullets in his gun.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Saga did that.
Yeah. And if Saga can do it, anyone can.
Can we have a med kit or something now, Gav?
I have pills.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Mostly just making sure sure there weren't any other dudes around. Eat all of those pills, Alan.
Everyone stop shredding for a minute. I need to eat my pills.
Oh god. Okay, also that's not reloaded, so let's do that. We wait for Solo.
Wait for Solo.
I saw that kick. Who is the third member of the Old Gods of Asgard? Just member 3. Oh. Anyone else? Anyone else? I mean, you didn't tell me there were enemies there. They did do the blocking for this. I shouldn't be surprised. Any other stage directions for me? No, you gotta go forward, Alan. Stop dodging to the side and go forward. Not reloaded.
Flagon is still amazing. He's less good than he was before, it seems, because he just like deletes a man. He used to delete multiple men.
I just think we haven't been close enough to do multiple deletes.
Possible. I think the radius used to be bigger.
Yeah.
And the enemies used to be slower, I guess, too.
Yeah.
So you could bunch them up more easily. I got a couple.
Alan, we have to talk about your aim and how it's actually atrocious.
It's not great. He's got worse at shooting between games. I guess he has.
Had 13 years of just hanging out in the dark place.
Yeah, he's got his brain wibbled a bit.
Because light mutes everything. When you've got a bright light in your eye, everything goes muted. Known fact.
Makes sense. When you're safe, you can't hear music as loud.
It's true. Got that 1,000-yard stare. This is too close to Alan's face. We need to back it up a good couple of feet.
We're within the smell zone if we get that close.
Somebody better be paying that cameraman extra. No one should ever have to go into the smell zone.
He's wearing a gas mask.
That was interesting.
That was great! What are you talking about? Oh, oh, oh! Oh, it was going up. We weren't falling.
Such a dark place, am I trapped in here?
It's all musical now.
Remember, there was a manuscript it held a key, a vicious cycle I must not surrender to. Echo seems to seek out again and again until I figure it out to bring this song to its end.
Look at him go.
Wow.
I don't want to stop watching him dance.
It's very good.
I gotta figure it out and bring this
The
song to
game
its
says we know you won't stop, so I want to see what's over here
true.
first. Okay, that is locked.
You gotta figure it out to bring this song to its end.
But never want the song to- That's too many Allens. Maybe we do need to end the song.
A lot of Allens.
Okay, it's not Alan dancing anymore. You're doing a great job, buddy. But you're not Stinky Man Alan. Oh, it's just the old gods. Alright. Hey, use this! I don't want the song to end.
Is there any way out to bring this song to its end?
I was trapped in an old Gods of Asgard musical, reliving the trauma of my nightmare-filled childhood. I was trapped in the musical, forced to face my issues and failings, unable to cope with my seemingly perfect success story. Trapped in the musical, I returned to the events that had led me here, facing the dark presence in Bright Falls in 2010 with Alice. I struggled to find a way out of the musical to continue my journey through the dark place. Final chorus brings the song to its climactic end. It's tragic, really. Oh. Guess all good things must come to an end.
Nice applause.
I mean, we get one more song at least, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna learn this dance. And I'll provide my own rendition of Herald of Darkness for everyone. Next cosplay Alan Wake.
Oh jeez.
This was beautiful. I'm sad that it's over. That was so good!
That's right, yeah.
And I thought this place couldn't get any stranger.
Alan, it was...
Is that Arthur? That's
yeah,
it!
it is. I'm not trying to aim it at him, I was just trying to zoom in. Okay, good. Alan won't point it at him. That's a little scary, though. Don't... We're just gonna have intense eye contact.
Catchy, right?
Herald of darkness.
Are y'all gonna...
Lost in the
Wait, Alan, comment on it again. Please? For me?
Swedish brothers,
Also, he's mopping carpet.
It's not that kind of janitor.
Yeah, but he's mopping carpet. Ati, I love you.
Why we need to get him to play these. His family in Sweden.
Go. Doesn't Ati speak Finnish though? Or am I wrong?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know nothing.
I think I meant Finland. I did mean Finland.
Okay. This is fine. We definitely know what's happening.
I remember it's Finland because we talked a lot about World War II.
Oh, no, that's a guitar. That's not a thing I can interact with. Okay, door. No, that's locked. Ati, how do I leave? Do I leave through there? Okay. I'm gonna leave this way, okay? Bye, buddy. Love you.
Good luck, Ati.
End of part.
And a pat.
You know, that's probably as good as any place to stop.
It's not gonna top that, is it?
No. I know it just saved. But we will find a save spot, which is here, actually. Never mind. We can go see Saga if we wanted to. These are bad.
Just tossing those now because
Bad.
they can make the game stop working. They're functionally worse than not having an item, because if you don't have any item, the game will still keep running.
Yeah. Let's do a manual save. We'll still probably play a little bit as Alan next time.
We could try another plus sometime. Yeah, I think we should do like a couple more as Alan.
Yeah. We were planning on doing every other stream as the other characters, but this one just kind of worked out that we were just going to keep playing as Saga, because I was looking at stuff, and then I found main quest stuff, and then just kind of kept going.
Yeah.
So maybe that's how we do it. Maybe we just do it however the fuck I want to that day.
Just go based on vibes.
Yeah. I am glad that we ended with Alan, because that was perfect.
That was so good.
That was very good, and I loved it. But for now, gotta find something to read into. Oh. Where is John Structon?
He has been playing a lot, but
that kind of looks like. Hold on, it's gonna take us a second.
He's got a lot of stuff in a row that I don't think we've got.
Yeah.
I think he's further than us.
Okay, he might be further than us.
Does he have the Oteodona sweater?
Good question.
Sorry, I thought that's what Saga wore. Okay, this is further than we've got.
Yep. All right. Well, in that case, let's go say hi to Super Great Friend. Because he's doing some more Revelations. And
it's not good?
It's bad, it's boring as hell, but chat's great.
And words included Kojima, Scam, Doggo, Kill, and 4. That's not true. I saw that post too, but loads of people posted Kojima. All the slurs were allowed, though.
Yeah.
Silent Hill Ascension wasn't good.
It was bad?
Sorry.
But yeah, we're gonna go see SGF and listen to everyone talk about how bad Ascension is. And that's gonna be great, I think. Yeah, we'll figure out when the next stream will be. And we'll let everyone know. And that's that.